For your safety, remain seated with the doors closed, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside while the tram is moving. And supervise your children.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion.
'Cause this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Dead men tell no tale.
I know not who you are, nor how I came to find you, but may I just say, aye.
Come on, everybody. Here we go!
Hello, all. I'm Scott Atwood.
And I'm Michele Atwood, and we are the owners of the Main Street Mouse.
And this is the Main Street Mouse Weekly Podcast, show number 145 for May 20th, 2024. I really like that intro.
I do, too. I wonder if everybody knows what everything is from. Like the bass music. Especially.
That's what I was just listening to. I was thinking the same thing. Does anybody realize what's in the background playing while the other voices from different scenes and stuff?
The rest is pretty easy.
The rest is pretty easy, but the background, if you don't know, is from Tapestry of Dreams. Or is it Tapestry of Nations?
I don't know if it was the same. I saw Tapestry of Dreams.
Okay.
And that was the background music.
I used to hear it when we left Illuminations. I never saw Tapestry live. I was there. I never went to Epcot during that time. As you know, I was not a Disney fan until you had me go in 2008. So I missed out on a lot of stuff there. But I used to hear that music on the way out after Illuminations.
Absolutely. And because every time we heard it and we'd walk out, I'd get all teary-eyed because I loved that show.
And didn't they play a little bit of it during Epcot Forever?
Pinch of it, I want to say, yeah.
Right. It wasn't completely shut out after that. Now there's no mention of it.
No, not that I'm aware. But yeah,
Luminous.
Good memories.
It's good. So, hello all. How are you guys doing? It's Monday. We're back live, kind of. You guys are probably hearing this replayed, but we're back.
Yeah. Yes, Monday. It has been a Monday, let me tell you.
It's a Monday, and it'll probably feel like a Monday on Friday also.
Yeah, it just, you ever have one of those days where you're like, is this the precursor for the rest of the week, or what is it?
I sure as heck hope not, because I don't think I could do 5 days of this in a row. It's just been a rough day. Just want to mention, if you guys are following us on Facebook or Instagram, if you could please make sure to share us out to your friends, family, coworkers, whomever, and let them know about the Main Street Mouse if they're Disney fans. We're trying to spread the word. Facebook's making it hard to get the word out there lately, so any help you guys can give us, we would greatly appreciate it, along with sharing out the podcast.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's not just us that are having these problems. Facebook and Instagram are basically killing small businesses, and a lot of our colleagues and friends are having the same problem. So, and it's easy to support a small business without spending a dime. You know, you can comment on something, you can like posts, you can share posts. Those little things are, like I said, they're free and they mean so much because it does help with being seen. So if you have small businesses that you love and appreciate, make sure that you support them because we're all having a hard time right now.
Isn't that the truth? So yeah, just like Michele said, just like, share, comment, just engage with the posts and such like that. And that helps us out more than you will ever possibly know, more than you giving us any money towards it. It helps just share it out and promote it.
There's like a little meme or something that goes around like how to support small businesses for free. And that's all on there. But it's just getting worse and worse. Like, for example, I was telling Scott earlier that my Facebook feed, I'm seeing stuff from May 2nd. I'm seeing Happy Mother's Day posts, lots of ads that for pages I do not follow.
I'm seeing that too. I'm seeing a lot of business ads of businesses I've never even looked at.
Never even heard of or have anything that you like about it or the subject matter. I've been like Xing them out at the top or where it hits show last. There was one that it was one of those pages that would compare, do you like this better or that better?
Okay.
Or this actor better than that actor? And it was all in my feed to the point, and I kept hitting like last. I'm like, why? I don't even like this page.
I've gotten that so much, or I see people like that I don't, and it'll say follow this person. I'm like, I don't even know who this person is.
I don't know who it is. And then what's funny is so that this or that page type of thing, whatever it was, I ended up having to block the page because Facebook was just jamming my whole wall full of it. So Facebook totally sucks, as does Instagram.
Well, AI thinks it knows what you want to see.
Well, AI is wrong. You know what they could, okay, what they could do, and this is what feedback, because was a week or two ago, I don't remember, but one of the dudes on Instagram made this whole like reel type of thing saying, this is what we're doing to help creators and blah blah blah, and those really sucky changes. And the whole comment section was, just let people see the pages they like.
Yeah, exactly. It's easy.
This would be the simplest solution on the planet. Instead of you trying to throw ads in our faces and stuff that, we don't see it there. I have friends. I have over 1,000 friends on Facebook. I maybe see 4.
Yeah.
I mean, and Instagram is terrible, and small businesses are going under. Just give us back. Like, it's not hard.
Yeah, I know. Back in the day, Facebook still made a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Before they started putting ads in our feed, but it was because they would show ads on the sides, on the sidebars of the page. Go back to doing that because you made money then, and if people are seeing stuff they want to see, they might be on Facebook longer in a session.
Yeah, I mean, like, even for me, who I'm always scrolling looking for news or whatever,
Right.
like the past few days, I'm like, why bother? It's not Mother's Day anymore. It is. It's not April 28th. I don't care what happened
You
at the
should
end of
start
April.
saving those for next year, though.
Oh my god!
Because then you'll have them already all set, and then you can just schedule them now.
Like, why bother? I'm just so annoyed today.
I know. I can't wait for football season to start, so my feed is just filled again with Lions memes.
Right? Let's go
Football
back
stuff.
to football.
At least it'll be
football
something I want to
season.
see then.
Oh, you don't want to see? Do you like Brad Pitt better or Leonardo DiCaprio?
I don't like either one of them. I don't think they're good. Either one of them are good. It's like, bye-bye.
But like, I'll put a thumbs up for this and a heart for that, or sometimes they'll throw 4 actors in the mix.
But see, for me, when I see that stuff, I report the page as spam.
Well, they're just trying to get engagement. That's all
I
that
get it.
is. I mean, like, if you heart it, if you like this person, or check it, or thumbs up, you like that person. That is all they're doing.
But that's a page that's getting promoted. Either they're paying for it to be promoted, or Facebook is promoting them organically. And it's like, no, that's spam to me because I don't want to see it. And to me, that's spam. So
Hey, I've had to block some pages, and it's not because they're inappropriate pages or anything.
No,
it's
not that
just
at all.
because I'm sick of seeing you.
Right.
And I don't follow you.
I want to see the things I'm interested in. I want to see football. I want to see Detroit stuff. I want to see recipes. I love to eat and I love to cook.
But,
So,
okay, here's the thing. I'm going to throw Scott under the bus right now.
oh boy, tire tracks are in my back.
Yep, get ready. So he loves watching all these recipe things and videos. Does he make any of them?
Because it costs more to go to the store and
No.
buy the stuff to make it than it does to just order out.
Okay, even before the economy took a dump, you were always watching those videos.
Okay, there's a group of people who are probably listening to this podcast who I make 2 dishes that they both rave about.
Okay, but you could.
And those
you
are
could
my
expand,
recipes.
You could expand your horizons if you try something else.
I don't have time to make those too much. Less.
Okay, I'm just saying. All right. So anyway, do you want to talk about Disney now?
Hey, let's go. Actually, so Florida Living is our first.
Okay,
thing that
Florida
comes up.
Living.
The thing I wanted to mention is it is hot outside.
Oh my gosh, misery, and it's only May.
It's only May, and it's been probably about a week now, maybe give or take a few days, but it's been about a week of 90 degrees.
Almost 2 weeks. It got worse. Last week got worse.
It did. Yep. Oh, that's right, because it was warm the week. Then you got sunburnt. We talked about that last week. And then the last week has just, again, been hot, and this week even looks worse than last week heat-wise. Sunny every day, no cloud, which is great. I love that it's not going to rain every day. But 95 plus with a heat index probably hitting 100 or more. No rain, so our grass is dying, even though it gets watered. It's still getting.
I know. Usually it's me that kills plants, but
no, it's the sun now.
I'm watering every day. But that's the thing when it's so hot. You got people that coming in for their vacations and probably thinking, "Oh, May's not too bad yet."
Oh, this year it is. You might want to move next year to April.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's so hot, and going to the parks is misery too.
Oh, it is.
But wait, we went to a park and it wasn't as bad as it was on the weekend.
No, we went. So that was my next topic actually. Wednesday we went to Magic Kingdom for a couple hours. Just to get out of the house. I think more than anything, we needed to go
Look
some
for content, see what was new.
Right. So we went to Magic Kingdom. We got there. Can't remember if it was
It was around lunchtime. I
I
want
was
to
gonna say it was before festival. It was around 1:00 because I put in to get a Tron reservation when we got.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you were trying on the monorail.
Right, and it wouldn't do it till we got through the turnstiles. It wouldn't let me.
And when you did, just sidebar for a second. So we put it in at 1:00. What time did we get called?
It was 8:37 or 8:17, and we had till 9:17 to come back to the ride.
Mind you, we had already left hours before that.
And we weren't really that far. I mean, it was like probably 60 or 70 groups.
Yeah.
But it was 7.5 hours between the time.
And this is why we have not rode Trons as a media event, because we don't stay all day at the parks.
No, we went over there. It was warm out, and the crowd wasn't that busy.
No, it really wasn't busy at all. So we were able to get in the virtual queue, but then we never got on the ride.
No, we only rode a couple of things while we were there. I think we rode 3 things. We rode Ariel, the Journey of the Little Mermaid, which we went more for the air conditioning.
I'm like, here, let's go in here 'cause it's nice and cool.
And then we went and did the Smellephants.
Which they don't smell.
None of them smelled it.
Oh my gosh, I was giving myself a headache from sniffing. I mean, I'm going to each elephant and I'm like,
are they like scratch and sniff?
I know. I'm like, there is nothing. And then I was like, okay, maybe the elephants are broken today. So then I'm like, okay, well, if you go around them, one of them has to have a fragrance.
None of them did.
And it really stinks about that is that I do sell Scentsy on the side, and I do, I specialize in the Disney things, obviously. And I was all excited to get in there and smell the scents, and I'm like, oh my gosh. You can't smell them.
Yep.
Not a darn thing. I was so disappointed.
It was just kind of weird because they made this big deal about. I mean, they're really cool, the elephant statues, and they're kind of painted the way they used to do Vinylmations.
They're really cute. They're really cute.
They are, and I could see them selling miniature versions of these.
Oh yeah.
And if they were smart, they would. And
they'd actually smell.
And then put like the little air fresheners that Scentsy sells into them.
Oh, for sure.
Scentsy, that's a $1 million idea, Scentsy. You call me, I want 10%. Right out the gate, 10%. But you start selling these Smellephants, little statues that people would buy, because they would, in a heartbeat. They would buy the fragrance that goes inside. So it's a popcorn one. You have the popcorn smell. And people would have those in their house, and it'd be great. But we're walking around there, and none of them smelled like they're supposed to. And I'm like, this isn't really working the way I think it's supposed to work.
Like, seriously, it was warm outside, and I was starting to feel a little woozy because, when you're inhaling too much.
We're just smelling hot air.
I know, I was just breathing in a bunch of hot air and not one whiff of popcorn or cotton candy or anything that it was supposed to be. I was so disappointed.
It was funny because after we left the area, so we left the Big Top Circus. Is that what the name of that area? I think it is, something like that. We're leaving that area, and as you walk past between that area coming up on the side of Seven Dwarfs, there is a popcorn and a pretzel stand right there, and you go, oh, now I smell popcorn.
From the popcorn, not from the popcorn elephant. So I those are not a permanent thing back there, which is good because in my experience they don't work.
They're cool to see. Like I said, they were really cool. They did a good job with them, which is kind of weird that they took all that time and effort to make these, and it's not a permanent structures that's going to be there.
Well, they have like the little vents underneath the elephant, and I was bound and determined I'm going to stand here until a whiff comes my way, and I'm standing there waiting. Then, like an idiot, I kind of bent over towards the grate.
That would have been bad. It shot out the spray.
And I was like, okay, still don't smell a darn thing.
That could have been really bad, though. You're standing there, get a whiff, and all of a sudden, and it just.
But at least I would have known it would work.
And you would have smelled it for 3 days.
Maybe. But yeah, so Smellephants, good luck.
Good luck. I know Greg did go through them all, and he did smell them all at one time. He went and got all the different scents that are there. But come on, get those things working. We need something to knock out the smell of hot air.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And speaking of it's hot, yeah, please, deodorant, people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
we experienced that a few times on.
Even the Smellephants, like. Like,
I am not going to give you a smell.
I'm not giving you anything because I don't like the smell you're dishing out.
We did see some. We did walk through the. I'm sorry. So we did Ariel. Then we walked through the Smellephants, and then we did the People Mover, which is one of our.
Always do
the People Mover, and then we actually went on Buzz Lightyear.
We did because there was no wait.
There was no wait on Buzz, and that's where we had a whiff of smell.
We don't. No one needs to know where we smell.
Deodorant, people.
Ugh. But yeah. So and then there was rain coming in. So.
There was rain, so that's when we made the decision. If we stay, we're gonna have to stay past the rain to get out of here because everybody's gonna be checking out the park as quickly as possible. Or do we go now? So we ended up leaving a little bit earlier than we had initially planned. We did walk through the Uptown Jeweler store on the way out just to see if there's anything new in there you wanted to see. I saw that Avengers Loungefly bag, which is bad.
Don't get going.
I know. It's just if you're going to be consistent, don't put the front cover of the first Avengers comic and get somebody like me who's a Marvel fan. Like, consistency, and you open it up and Captain America's in there. He wasn't in the first Avengers comic. He wasn't in
Okay, I said don't get started.
I know. It's just be consistent, people. That's all.
He raved about that for about 15 minutes.
Character integrity.
Okay, well, whatever.
But so that was Wednesday. We did that. It was good to get out of the house though for a little bit and go over there and check out. Then Saturday we went to Epcot. Actually,
we did. Our friends Chuck and Karen invited us. They were going to Epcot, and they actually told Scott like a week and a half ago they were going to be at Epcot that day, and then they reminded us that they were there. Plus, I'm like, oh yeah, they're there today. So it was like sweltering hot out there.
It wasn't supposed to rain.
It was not supposed to rain, but did it?
As soon as we got under Spaceship Earth, the clouds opened up and it down.
It was like a monsoon.
For about 30 minutes, 25 minutes?
I would say we got to the store, and Chuck and Karen were in the back. They were in the America Pavilion, and we stood under there, and the wind was whipping sideways, and all the people that were standing in line for Spaceship Earth started to scream. I mean, it was like a loud scream, like the place was like, like I don't know, it was crazy. Everybody, I
know it was like somebody famous walked by because of the way they all screamed.
Yeah, they weren't cheering. No, they were getting whipped in the face with rain.
It was bad though. The storm came out of nowhere, and I'm watching radar on my phone. I'm like, okay, it says 5 more minutes, 4 more minutes, 3. Then it got down to 1. It goes 6 more minutes. I'm like, wait, how did it got extended that quickly? And then about 10 minutes later, I think it finally was done enough.
And like that's Florida weather though, especially in the hot months. I mean, so like your weather app is not dependable. Let's just say that, and just kind of assume it may rain.
Yeah, if you go outside and it's sweltering hot and the sky is clear, don't plan on it staying that way for long in Florida.
Yeah, we always get like an afternoon shower, but that one came out of nowhere. But yeah, so we walked around Epcot with them for a little while, and it was so hot.
It was warm. Again, it wasn't that busy for a Saturday.
It felt busy to me, but maybe I was just hot and miserable. I don't know.
It was just hot, but for a typical Saturday during Flower and Garden, I would have thought it would have been more of a crowd. We did sit through the spinners first set.
Which we figured out not one of those that were spinning were spinners.
No, I actually did some more research. So while we were there, I looked up real quick, and I had looked, and only 2 of the original 6 were still alive. Then I read it further down, and actually none of the original members of the spinners are still with us. So these are all new spinners.
They're new spinners. They're younger spinners.
Newer spinners.
Which we were all a little bit confused by. I mean, now mind you, first of all, they sounded fantastic. They sounded just like the originals. I mean, they were very, very good.
Yes, and the dance moves, everything. I mean,
they were so entertaining. I could have sat and listened to them longer.
Definitely.
And I knew every song they sang in that half hour, which was kind of cool. But so I was talking to Karen, and Karen said, well, if there's no like original spinners or spinners relatives, then isn't it just a cover band? And I think that made a whole lot of sense.
It really did. Even though they're still licensed as the original spinner or as the spinners, and they had the rights to do all those songs and such. Yeah, I guess they would just.
I just figured out what it is.
What's that?
Ready?
Oh boy.
Oh, what it
You should see the look on her face when she said this.
I just got it. Oh my God, why didn't I think of this on Saturday?
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh boy, I think I know what you could say.
So, they have a Menudo thing going on. Do you remember the boy band group Menudo?
Yeah, with their one big hit. That was in the U.S. big hit. At least.
Well, yeah, I don't know about any other hits. I think like in other countries they were big because Ricky Martin got his start in Menudo.
Right.
So I think the Rico Suave dude did too.
Did he really?
I think so, and he's a pastor now, by the way.
Rico Suave?
Rico Suave's a pastor.
Wow. Does he let that video get played? Because he was not doing pastor-like things in that type of video.
With his tight pants on his bandana.
Exactly.
No, but like, so Menudo, like, the members changed all the time.
Right.
So, like, when they hit a certain age or whatever, they were Menudo'd out and they got a new Menudo in.
Right. So when Ricky hit 17, Ricky was replaced with somebody else.
Right.
So they just, you're out, you're in.
Right. So maybe that's what happened with the spinners. Like, you can't perform anymore, you're out. Or God forbid you pass away, they need a new spinner.
Well, that's what I saw was one of the original members. Actually, the last one to have passed away was it. He passed away just this year in 2024, but he actually stopped touring in April of 2023.
So yeah, he
up until
toured
a
with
year
them
ago.
for a long time.
Yeah, he did, and he kept performing, and you could tell their dance moves and stuff. It was the type of dance moves and such they did when they were in their height of fame in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, probably.
Right. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I'm like, those aren't the originals. But then if you think about time and how quickly time goes by, I mean, we weren't even born when they started, so I'm not exactly sure what I was expecting. But here or there, they were good.
They were good, and they're from Michigan. The original group is from Ferndale, Michigan, which was about half an hour from where Michele and I grew up.
Right, that Detroit Motown sound.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they were great. And like I think she just said I think they started in 1956. So if you really think about the math of that, that is 68 years ago. So if they were say 20 when they started, any member would be in their late 80s now.
You're mathing, my head hurts.
Sorry, but yeah, that's to think that they could have still been. I mean, they could have been some of the original, but I just don't think they could have done some of the moves. But the guys who are there now sounded great. The band behind them sounded great. The crowd really got into it, and they had a lot of fun. I thought the one thing that was funny though, so they did the first two songs, and then one guy gets on the mic. He goes, "I don't know what they told you before, but if you're one of the ones filming or taking the video or what without our express written consent," I thought, "Oh boy, they're gonna yell at us for videotaping and all this stuff," because I've actually heard that at Epcot before. He's like, "Thank you." He's like, he goes, "If you're a fan of ours and you want to videotape and record this and put it on media and all social media, go for it." He goes, we don't hide from our fans like other bands. And it was kind of a dig, but it was also cool.
Yeah, he kind of zinged them. But yeah, and but yeah, they were good. We didn't stay too much longer past that.
No, I was in pain and we had to go.
Yeah, you weren't feeling good, and it was just hot.
It was hot. It was hot. So we got out of there, got back to the car, picked up dinner on the way home, and came home.
It was a 2-shower day, and a lot of those, that's how our summers are here. We get up in the morning, take our showers, and if we go anywhere outside, as soon as we come home, first thing we do is go take another shower.
Take another shower
because it's too freaking hot.
It is. It's crazy how warm it is this time of year already. I'm scared of July and August.
I'm not ready for this yet.
August and July are going to be horrible. If we're already this hot this early, I can't even imagine. We're going to be in the hundreds, low hundreds probably through those
Don't say that.
bad months.
We're going to hope for the best, but
we're hopeful. One thing I wanted to bring up though about our adventures in Florida living, and if you saw Michele posted it last week, she put out an article about Tiana's opening date and such. and somebody who's been following us for a while, every time Michele's put out something, he's put, change it back, sign my petition.
Or boycott. We boycott, and everything is in all caps. Now, he's been doing this a very long time, and I just kind of let it go.
There was nothing vicious about it.
No, he was just like, switch it back or we boycott. And I'm thinking to myself, man, come on. They're not changing it back. You boycott all you want. But yeah, he was doing this on every post, and I come to find out he was doing it on other pages too.
Right.
So, and usually, like, if somebody says something crappy, I let my my readers handle them.
And they will.
And
it's great how they do it.
Yeah. So I told this guy. So he started making threats to people over the whole they're not switching back to Splash Mountain.
No.
So I said to him, you need to stop making threats on the page or I will ban you.
Because he did threaten somebody.
Yeah, and I said, and by the way, the ride is not coming back. Well, this set his sirens going because he called me the funniest name ever.
Gosh.
He was insulting me.
You can almost say it if you want to go ahead and say it.
All right, I'm just going to say it. I got to make sure I get it right. Hold on.
I was going to say, if you don't do it right, it's not worth saying.
All right, so this is what he said back to me. Are you ready?
And don't say the one word.
Why? It's a made-up word.
But it says a bad word
but it's all one word together.
Okay, so just let your kids know they might hear a word that they might think is bad.
Plug your ears if you get offended.
This was what was typed to Michele.
Yes. He said to me, they are changing the ride back. Now, mind you, this is all caps and 1,000,000 exclamation points. You are just a stupid, horse-shitty, muffin-headed dummy. Now, mind you, the horse one is all one word, so that's why I thought it was okay to say. But yeah, so stupid horse, beep, muffin-headed dummy.
Yeah, it's something like Will Ferrell would have said in Elf, the movie. When
Yeah,
he's-
cotton-headed Ninny Muggins.
Yeah, I can't remember what he called. Oh, when he was it when he get into a fight or he got something hit in the face or something like that? He said.
I don't know. It was towards the beginning of the movie, I believe, though.
But as soon as I read that, that's what I thought the guy had said.
Yeah, and everybody else started saying what, and people were like, "You buddy the elf." So,
That's so funny.
I put it on my personal Facebook page because I thought it was the best insult ever. Now, if he would have called me, an F and beep, there would have been a problem.
I would have been on my way to Boston.
But no, I thought that was the best insult, and so I put it on my Facebook page, and like everybody else thought it was the best insult too.
I'm putting it on a shirt. We're gonna sell it because he's been taking up posts on our wall for
a
how
long time.
We're gonna make money off his saying. So it's gonna be one of those. If you know, you know. And we're gonna post these shirts, and we're all gonna wear them to the park. And actually, I created the shirt already. I showed it to Michele, and I actually did it like almost like a quote. So like in the bottom right of it, I put his initials.
Yeah, you can't do that though. So here's the funny part. So I ended up blocking him because he was threatening people. And okay, truth be told, I'm honest. This guy has been entertaining me for months. And then when he called me a name, and then he started, I didn't even care about the name. Call it to me because it made me laugh the entire day. Call me that. That's
You
great.
did. You were smiling about it still on Saturday.
I was still cracking up because it was the best insult ever. But then when he's making threats, I had to block him.
Yeah.
So I blocked him, and then he started making his rounds on other pages.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of different people in the world, and sometimes no matter how you scream from the rooftops, it's not going to change anything.
No.
And there was no reasoning with him. So like Disney didn't spend millions to transform a ride just to put it back because you're going to boycott.
Well, of course they would. What are you talking about? Those animatronics are already in the garbage can.
Yeah,
and they're
I'm
bringing all the
sure.
other ones back. They're filling that room back
Yep,
up with
pull
all
out the bear again.
the bear and the rabbit and all them. They're coming back.
I love the little bunny that used to sweep the porch.
I wonder if they'll leave anything like that.
I like the bunny that sweeps.
I just wonder if some of the animatronics like that, like the little, what were they? The little, what were they? The little things, prairie dogs. That would
Oh, the prairie dogs. And they have the frogs.
The frogs. I just wonder if any of that stuff will still be in there. Because
I would be overjoyed if that little sweeping bunny was in there.
That'd be funny.
It was really cute outside the little tree stump.
If not, if anybody knows where the sweeping bunny is and we can get that, please ship it to our house.
I would love that.
Michele would put it on our porch and just have it out there sweeping.
Aww. I put it in the house. Nobody else sweeps the floor but me, so I need help from the bunny.
But if you missed that, we just wanted to bring that up and let you guys know about the protest we had. And if you see anything about it, that's what it was all about.
That's what it was all about, and it was funny.
It was funny. So on to Disney news now. The one thing I wanted to mention is Epcot's International Flower and Garden Festival ends on Monday, the 27th, which is Memorial
Day. Yep.
Yes, that is the final day. So this weekend is the last of the big name concerts. This weekend they have Lit.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be lit.
It's going to be lit.
It's going to be lit there Friday and Saturday. And then on Sunday and Monday is Casting Crowns. to close out
Okay.
the weekend. There is something called Epic Live, I think, is coming in starting tomorrow. Through Thursday. I don't know what that is exactly. I know they've been using a lot of local bands.
Or cover bands, stuff like that.
During the week. I know Sister Hazel performs tonight. This is their last night of the show. They're actually a Floridian band. But they're done tonight, and then Epic Live comes in, and then Lit Friday, Saturday, and then Casting Crowns on the weekend to close out the weekend. So.
And then in a few weeks, it's
the Food and Wine Festival, which is already a hot festival, and if the temperatures don't go down, they're not going to have the grills and stuff out there. They can just cook it on the floor.
right. Just throw the ears of corn on the cement.
Exactly. Just put it down there, scrub it really good, put it on the cement. It will cook probably faster and hotter than you could on any grill or stove.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so hot. So, but it was kind of nice. We hadn't really been that much this year.
No, we really haven't. And I don't even know why.
I think we just get so busy that by the time we
busy
realize it,
and burnt out sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, our younger son has a birthday this week, and he wants to go to Epcot. So we'll go back to Epcot. I'm hoping it's not as hot.
I know. Yeah.
But like we just, and that's why we went to Magic Kingdom last week, because we're just trying to make an effort to do that. But we get so busy with everything. We need to make more time for that.
Yeah, we need to find a way to get over there more and just see what's going on in the parks and stuff. I know, and a lot of times with us on the weekends, we don't go to the festivals because they are so busy.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't do anything. And April was really busy. There was a lot of groups and such in town.
Oh, because of spring break.
Because of spring break and such. So all that time we don't go because it's over. We'll check the times just to get an idea of how busy the park is. And sometimes you look on there and 4 or 5 rides are over 90 minutes each. And it's like, okay, it's
we're not. See, that's the perk of being a spoiled, pampered local annual pass holder. Like, I know we sound like, oh, boo-hoo, right? But we don't have to go. If it's crowded, we don't go. Or if we get there and it's a hot mess, we leave. We can come back another day.
Exactly. Yeah, we don't have to deal with it. And it's good that we can just do that. But sometimes it's annoying that you get all the way over there and then it's like you don't do anything.
It is annoying.
Right. And you get there and they end up parking you way in the back of the row. You got to walk further.
Okay, so fun fact. Scott and I always, when you see the cast members pointing and then you see one about like
4 miles.
4 miles up there with like they're waving their arms like come over here.
I think they're in our driveway still when they're waving us in.
Right? We get the worst parking spots. And we're always, when they start sending people all the way down, it's always us. I don't know why we have such crappy luck parking, but we do.
Yeah, it's just crazy. We actually didn't have a bad spot Saturday.
I know. I felt like they gave us a break for a change.
They must have said, okay,
it was only halfway down the
It was only halfway down. Only 3/4 of the way down, so it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, but that stinks at the end of the night, though, because, like, you're exhausted, you're hot, you're tired, and you're trying to walk to the car, and it is basically like, you know, you might as well park at Disney Springs.
Taking the bus over because you'll get at least a little bit closer.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I just don't like all that walking down the aisle. But yeah, we do always check the park to see how busy it is before we get there. And if you like Epcot, if we check it and Three Caballeros is 20 minutes.
Then we know don't
go.
Too
busy. When we see Magic Kingdom, if the carousel, not Progress, the Regal Carousel,
or
more than 10 minutes,
the other one, what's it called? Why can't I think? Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? The show. Why can't I?
PhilharMagic?
PhilharMagic, thank you. It was right there, and because we used to always go into that, especially when it's hot.
Right, exactly.
So.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how it all is like that sometimes, especially when it's hot. The air conditioning feels nice, though.
It does.
I know the other day when we went in the Ariel, I was like, okay, I can sit in here for a little while.
I know. Can we go around again, please?
We're just not going to get off. We're just
we'll just leave us here.
Keep it going until the temperature cools down or the sun goes down. Even when the sun goes down, it's still hot. So, today, big update came through that the DAS updates took effect.
Oh yeah.
If you want to go ahead and take this, because I honestly don't know a lot about it.
So I knew it was coming. But and Disney hasn't said anything about it.
No, they haven't.
And I think that that's purposely done because they didn't want to stir the pot because it was already going to stir the pot on his own. So our friend Greg was over there in the morning and saw the new signage and how they were doing things. And I did put an article about it out on the site today. But so basically, like we had told you when the changes were, when they were announced, completely different. A ton of people previously that qualified for DAS are no longer.
Right.
I would not want to be that poor cast member that has to deal with that because it's not their fault. You have to find out if you qualify before you go to the park. But if you did not do that, they will send you to guest services or whatever. Do your video call with the cast member and the health care person.
Right.
But yeah, so what they're suggesting is, of course, I knew it, buy Genie Plus if you don't like it.
Yep. Spend your money and do it this way.
Right. Or they're telling you to use the single riders line or do like the child swap, but like that kind of thing, like person swap. I don't know.
I was saying, what if you don't have a child? Can you use child swap without a child?
I don't know. I'm just telling you what they're saying. I don't make the rules.
No, I'm just curious. So you said that they go to guest services and guest services makes the phone call. So there's nobody on site who verbally can give the approval. It has to be through the phone call.
No, and from what I understand, no means no. Like you can't, if they tell you you're not approved.
It don't matter.
So what Greg had said was this morning a cast member was getting crabbed at and basically, well, why can't this? Why this? Why? And the cast member just kind of reiterates what the rules are now.
Right, that's all they can do.
They don't put in their 2 cents or anything. They're just kind of programmed to say this is what it is. But I knew when I put the article out, the comments would be,
Extreme.
Yeah, but surprisingly, knock on wood. Now, mind you, day's not over yet, but people are pretty much in agreement on certain things.
Okay.
And there were some that are like good.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that abused the system, I mean, you can thank them for this.
Right.
I also read on our thread, so I literally follow no one. I mean, I don't follow YouTubers, TikTokers, for God's sake, no. I stay to myself. So I don't know this information. And they were saying that some quote unquote influencers, YouTubers, whatever, were had been for quite some time encouraging people to cheat the system and not buy Genie Plus.
Oh, really?
So, which shame on you, by the way. And then plus the unofficial tour guides were telling people to get a DAS pass instead of doing so they're
the ones that broke it.
Yes, so there are people out there that were pushing their luck, and now everybody has to pay for that.
Right.
So one of the things that again, I'm a comment reader, and nobody called me a muffin head or anything, which is great.
Not today.
Not today anyway.
It's early though.
It's early. I mean, maybe by the time we're done recording, I'll get a good insult.
Yeah.
Shoot the messenger. Somebody had said something about our combat veterans and PTSD.
Okay.
Like, why not them? I mean, there's certain ailments or problems that people have. For right now, it's only severe cases of autism. That is it.
So that's the one they're doing. That's it.
That's it.
So there's no handicap reasons?
No.
See, I disagree with that one.
Mobility, I guess mobility was never hasn't been on there for a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was surprised at that. I know they would assist you.
Because I was going to say, I know people who've gotten DAS because of mobility issues many times.
Oh, yeah.
And
but it was easy to get before. You could just stroll right up to the tent with the cast members and I have such and such. Okay, how many are in your party? And that's another thing that people are complaining about is that you can only have 4 people on with you.
Okay.
So people are like, what about big groups? Blah blah blah. But people were doing that before and abusing it. So I don't agree with everything that Disney does or says, but I will agree with the group size. Like, that DAS pass isn't for you and your whole party group to go and cut.
We have 47 people here in a family reunion, and there's one person.
Right. That's not fair.
No, that's not fair at all. I could see it being like the 2 to 4, because that gives them somebody to ride with themselves, and maybe if it's a smaller party, can get immediately on there. But I don't think you should be able to get more than that. I know I heard somebody say that they might extend it to 8. Depending on the situation, but I don't even know if 8 seems a little extreme to me.
Well, and then I have another, and I'm not judging. I'm just curious.
Okay.
And I'm not going to ask it because I'll ask it here. I'm not going to ask it on social media because I don't feel like,
You'd be called a dummy head.
Yeah, stupid, whatever.
Another shirt.
Another shirt will be made. But so Disney is suggesting that if you don't get approved, buy Genie Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And from the comment section I was reading, people are like, well, I guess I'm not going anymore. Like, some people would rather stay home than buy Genie Plus.
Oh my God.
Now, I don't like Genie Plus either, but if they're offering a paid solution, and I really feel that this is about money.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Everything's about money.
Because Disney's going to charge for everything, and if there's people blatantly abusing the system to avoid buying Genie Plus, then that's where it's at.
Yeah.
I don't get it. So that people are saying that they won't even come anymore. I don't know what the answer is. Like, so why? I guess that's my question. Why would you rather stay home than purchase Genie Plus? I mean, again, not judging. I hate Genie Plus. I think it is the biggest.
We won't use it.
I refuse. Yeah. But I live here, so it's not a big deal if we're like we were just saying that we can go home if we don't want to, if it's too crowded or whatever.
But even when we vacationed here, and that was just when they had the paper fast pass system.
Mm-hmm.
If we didn't get a fast pass, we would just wait in line for the rides, and even the boys didn't like it. we still did it because we wanted to ride the ride. Aiden had asthma. He had a hard time in the heat. He couldn't really stand and walk all that long in the heat down here. But you know what? He did it because he wanted to go on the attraction.
And we were, don't make us sound like negligent parents. I mean.
No, he wasn't bad off of where he was hurting, but
I put him in, we were just talking about this, I think, last week. So, my younger one has asthma. It's been much better since we moved here, by the way.
It was worse when we lived in Michigan.
When we lived in Michigan, he would end up in the ER every winter. And that also played a fact, or, why we moved here.
Yep.
Because he was sick all the time from the cold weather.
And I think since we moved here, he's only had one reaction, and it was because of cat hair at somebody's house.
You're right.
So it wasn't even anything else. It was that caused him to have a reaction. And as soon as we got him home and got him his albuterol and hooked him to his, he was fine.
Right. But
so.
for us, though, we're thinking back a long time ago, we took Aiden when he was like 5. And I was hemming and hawing because I thought he was too big for a stroller. But I put him in the stroller because I didn't want to have that extra pressure on his lungs if he were to have a hard time walking or whatever.
Right.
But I never even thought about getting a pass or anything for him.
And he never complained.
No, but he was just happy to be there.
That's what it was.
And I would be the one to make him take a break as far as, or he made me hold him or pick him up till he was like 8. Or I just pick him up. But I didn't have that option, or I didn't know if we had that option, but I still took him.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want that to ruin our time, but I was just very mindful of his surroundings, his breathing, taking breaks, water, the whole thing. But nowadays, it's just one of those things that a lot of people have issues that they want to use that.
Right.
And in Disney, cut it so drastically.
Yeah.
That, they're not playing. They went from every ailment you can think of to 1.
I'm surprised they went to 1, though. They could have just did away with it completely and said, you know what? If you want this, you have to pay for it. But the thing that blows me away is, so a couple weeks ago was the earnings call. And for this to be a money issue tells how greedy the company is getting, because they made record profits.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't because of charging more. Attendance was up, everything was up, and they're still making tons more money than they ever have in the history of the company. And to add on top of that, you want a Genie Plus. And it's like, come on.
Here's the do you remember when we were walking on Epcot on Saturday? I know we were having heat stroke and everything, but we were talking.
I dropped for a little while there.
I know.
For water on me. Get the Smellephants to put some popcorn.
Wrong park.
It probably worked over there.
Yeah, maybe. But we were talking about how crowded it was when we were leaving. And I was like, you know what? For as many people that are saying they're boycotting Disney, or they're sick of Disney, or we're not gonna go anymore, you wouldn't know it.
No.
You would not know it.
Nope.
So
that place is packed. It's not as busy as I thought it would be on a Saturday, but it's still not empty.
Oh, heck no. Years ago, you used to have downtimes, and May would be like a downtime because it was before summer.
Yep, before graduations and stuff like that. So,
and that's not the case, really.
No, it's not like what the downtimes used to be. I remember the first couple years we were here, we always waited till that week, the Wednesday after Labor Day, because that's when the North was all back in school.
Uh-huh.
And we go to Magic Kingdom, and it was literally walk on any ride you want to.
Those were the
all
days.
Day. Oh, my God. It was so great. We could ride every ride by noon.
No fast pass needed even.
No fast pass needed.
Walking
then.
right on.
But the DAS thing, I get both sides of it. And if you and I think Disney's going to have to expand the people who are allowed it, but I think it has to be medically with a doctor's note.
But see, they won't ask for documentation. So that's what I don't understand. So you make this call, and you're on a video chat with a cast member and a health person.
Right.
They determine whether you qualify or not. I don't know how they do that. I don't know if they ask questions.
I was gonna say, but just you don't
have to. You don't have to. That's the thing. You're right. You can lie. I don't know if they have to show any paperwork. I don't think they're allowed to ask for said paperwork. I have no clue. But and then they say if you get caught lying, it's a lifetime ban from the parks.
Yeah.
But how do they know if you're lying? I don't know. I just think that there's going to be some gray areas there.
And my thing, the people who legitimately have these issues, they would have no problem calling their doctor because obviously if they're having these type of issues, they see a doctor more than likely.
Well,
Some
sure.
might not because of finances or whatever, but the majority of them are probably going to see a doctor. And if you're coming to Disney anyway, you have the money to go see a doctor. I'm sorry. if you can afford to spend,
all right, you're gonna get people mad because there's this one. So in the Universal group, this was a huge argument. Like, I am not gonna, pay a copay or whatever to go get a note. But a lot of times, if you call your doctor's office, they'll email you.
They'll email you a note. It's not like you're asking for a prescription. It's not like you're asking for to go see something else. You're just asking for a note to say I can't do this
Or I have this.
I need this
ailment.
Yes.
But I don't know how they're gonna maneuver all of that because it just seems, like I said, a lot of gray area. Like, how do they know if you're lying? How do they verify, like, you really have this?
Exactly.
And then if you do a video chat and they're like, sorry, you can't go up to the ride or the guest relations,
Right.
the cast members at the ride or whatever and say, I didn't get this, but I want it. No is no. That's how it is. No is no.
And people remember the cast members don't make the rules.
No.
They're not the ones you see in the park, walking around or at the ride, putting you in your seat, making sure the bar is locked in place.
They don't have the decision-making
They are not
ability.
allowed to. So when you scream and you yell at them and you embarrass yourself and everybody who's with you and you make that cast member feel bad, they can't fix it for you no matter how much you yell and scream at them. So don't. Just be nice to them.
People shouldn't be yelling and screaming
But they
anyway. The entitlement is ridiculous.
It
And
is
I think that that's another base of the problems that Disney's having.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I guess we'll see. There's a lot of people with a lot of feelings about this new change. And it just hit today.
Right.
So I'm guessing in the next few weeks, you're going to hear a lot more about it.
And it'll probably, though, I think Disney will find that they have to change certain things to accommodate because I think
Disney doesn't listen. They don't usually change. Like, look at how many people complain about Genie Plus. Look how many
Right.
people complained about, different things that they do, price increases, blah,
Right.
blah, blah. And Disney's like, it's deaf ears. They don't hear you.
Well, I think the problem with those things, so Disney Plus or the price to get in the parks or food
Genie
prices
Plus.
or whatever, Genie Plus, people are still going to pay for it. I mean, they're still paying. They're still paying to get in the parks.
They're mad, but they'll pay it.
Exactly. You can't sit there and gripe and complain. This is ridiculous. These prices are, I just can't go anymore. But then you go, it's like Disney wins. Or any park wins, Cedar
It's
Point or
lose-lose.
Universal or any place you go. If you're going to sit there and complain about the pricing, but then you're still going to go, why'd you just waste all that time complaining? Because it's not going to make a difference if you're still going to go and pay the money. And that's what the bottom line. Disney, and like I've said for years, Disney is a company. And a company that has to make money, and they have to appease their stockholders, and they have to appease the board of directors, or they all lose their jobs.
And that's what they're doing.
And that's what they're doing. They're appeasing them. So when you really have a complaint and you say, you know what, like even the guy who called you the name, I'm boycotting it. Are you? Or are you going to end up at the park next year? You're just not going to go on that ride because you still paid to get in the park. It's not like you buy an
Is he
e-ticket.
boycotting Disney as a whole or just that ride?
Yeah. So let your money speak for you. Don't spend your money in a place that's not giving you what you want out of it.
We're not telling you not to go to Disney. We're
No.
saying for people that are very upset
Yeah.
with the changes, and at the same time, when it comes to the DAS, you can get Genie Plus or do the switch or whatever. So I think it's going to depend on the individual
Yeah.
because only you can know how you want to spend your money.
And what does DAS run? Or what does the Genie Plus run? Do you know
It
approximately?
varies.
I know it varies based on, because it's just like park prices. The price
Uh-huh.
depends on how busy the park
Busy.
is.
I know. I've seen it where it's been over $30 a person a day.
And that's not for every ride.
That's only for 3, I think.
Because that doesn't get you on, like,
Everything.
for Tron at the Magic Kingdom, or it doesn't get you on Guardians, I don't think.
It doesn't get
Epcot.
you on everything. It's not like just walk around and do what you want type of thing.
Right.
You still have to have a reservation.
Right.
for
So
it.
any of the rides you need a reservation for, which is Tron and Guardians right now.
And even if you wanted to ride the mansion, you still would have to put that on your app. From what I understand, now I could be completely wrong because again, you talk about a boycott. I boycott Genie Plus.
And I know there's a free version of the Disney Plan Your Day with Genie
Oh yeah,
Plus
you can.
that
but
can help you determine, like, go ride this now and then ride this afterwards because it'll be a better weight or whatever. I
but
never use that either.
no, and I don't remember where I read it. God, I've read a lot of comments since we've last talked to you guys. But somebody had said something. I think they were comparing Disney and Universal,
Okay.
and they were saying, "Yeah, I don't want to have to look at my phone all day,
That's true.
to find out, what's the time here, what's my next ride, what's this and that."
Yeah.
And like they have over at Universal, if you have the higher pass after 4:00 is everybody gets an express pass for everything
Each ride, yep.
if you have that level of a pass. I think that would be great for Disney,
I agree.
but I don't think they'll do it.
No, they're like the Platinum Pass level, which is the highest annual pass level. Once you purchase that, you can go after 4:00 at Universal on any ride you want to, which is fantastic. I think you only get to ride that ride once per day.
I think so, and then
It's limited.
like Hagrid's isn't part of that.
Right, but like Velocicoaster is.
Yeah, which is so strange.
Yeah, Hagrid's is a great ride though, and I've
But
never
there's
rode
always
Velocicoaster.
like over
Always over an hour or 100 minutes or whatever it is. It's like ridiculous, but it's a fun ride. So if you ever do get the chance to ride Hagrid's over at Universal,
it's
do
a
it.
whole lot of fun.
It's a whole lot of fun. But yeah, I don't get how this is. I think Disney's gonna have to bend a little bit because they're asking everybody else to bend. I think Disney may have to bend a little bit, or if you have this disability or whatever, and you're not approved, but you need Disney, or Genie Plus, maybe you could offer some kind of, I don't know. There's got to be a way to do it to where everybody's happy, and I don't think you're gonna make everybody happy.
I don't think so. It just came out today, so I guess time will tell.
Yeah.
As far as if people are gonna, I don't know what'll happen because lately, well, for quite a while, my predictions are not accurate whatsoever. So I can't even venture a guess as to how this is gonna go.
No, I have no idea how this is gonna go. I just wish.
And I can see it from all sides. So I'm totally neutral on this topic because, thank God I don't need it. I mean, I have anxiety. I could have gotten it.
You could have gotten it according to the old
rules, but I never did because I try to fight through it. I have that fight or flight thing, and I fight.
And a lot of and like you said though, I think it's the minority of people who took advantage of it are the ones that destroyed it for everybody who might have needed it. Had those people never done that, then we'd probably still have the existing.
See what being dishonest does. See what trying to scam does. I mean,
and those are the people who are probably complaining the most today.
Well, you know what? They can buy it.
That didn't need it in the first place.
It blows me away that there's people that have like really serious, conditions or whatever, and they don't apply. But I'm not Disney. I don't make the rules, so we'll see what happens.
I wouldn't want to be the Disney in this.
I would not want to be in charge of any of that.
No cast member makes enough money to deal with some of the aggravation they're going to
Nope, and people are going to take it out on the cast members, which is not fair.
They are. Jeremy's got the shirt, be nice to cast members. And
yep,
that
nice
applies so much right now.
It's not their fault. It's the higher-ups.
That's
Just keep that in mind, and, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the people who aren't roaming around the park are the ones that made this decision.
The ones in the air-conditioned offices.
In California.
Exactly.
So the only thing I want to mention from Disney is today they gave us a sneak peek of the costumes for Bunny, Bubbles, and Beulah from the Country Bear Jamboree will be wearing in their new costumes. And
Who?
Bunny, Bubbles, and Beulah. The 3 Bs.
They're new bears?
I think they were existing bears. They just changed their outfits.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not well versed in the Country Bear Jamboree because it was just super inappropriate.
I know Wendell. I know Big Al. I know
some of the songs were just
Lips.
like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, some of the songs are really out there.
Yeah, so the boys, I only took the boys on once when we first moved here, and they were like, "Mom, what was that?"
They even caught it.
They were like, "Mom, that doesn't seem very appropriate," and it wasn't.
No, it wasn't appropriate at all. It's funny because we noticed that 9 years ago, almost 10 years ago now, that we noticed that how inappropriate it was and how many years it's been that way until recently. It didn't change.
But here's the thing. Everybody's offended by everything these days.
Yep.
I don't get offended if I don't like something. I just don't entertain it. Like I just never the Country Bears. I like the bears themselves. I just think some of it is a bit much. But I just don't go on. And here's the thing. Sidebar. Here's the thing. Carousel of Progress.
I was just going to say.
Now, we have called it Carousel of Chauvinism since we moved here.
Yes.
Because the wife is doing all the work and
he's
just sitting on his butt with his dog.
Yep.
All right. So that could be taken away, like as far as, the chauvinistic part.
Right.
I think it's funny because I don't. Now, I'm all about girl power and all these things, but I don't get offended. I just was, okay then. And it was almost funny. It's almost funny to watch it, but it's the squeaky wheels that get things changed. Doesn't matter how many.
Unless you're complaining about Splash Mountain going away.
Boycott. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't shock me if eventually that has to change, or some of the wording. But see, that would really stink because that is a classic.
It is, and that's been around since the '64 World's Fair.
Yes.
That was built. I know they did do updates to the final scene.
Yes.
But they need to do them again. Because that final scene, the technology in that scene was 15 years ago, just like Tomorrowland is not Tomorrowland, it's Yesterdayland. They really need to update all that stuff. Future World needs to be Future World at Epcot. Tomorrowland needs to actually be the future and not what we're or what we've already been through.
You know what's weird on that last scene? So I like the nostalgia and the old settings that are on there. But that last scene always reminded me of Christmas when I was a kid, like at my Aunt Linda's house.
Okay.
Because she had an open house kind of like that.
Yeah.
And just the video games that they're playing, and then the teenager was wearing like the scrunchy socks and had like the dated hair, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like when I was a kid.
It was the 90s look.
Yeah, actually, I think some of that was late 80s too.
Because didn't somebody have moon boots in that scene? I could swear I saw there were moon boots somewhere in there. And if you remember,
ski boots, wasn't it?
I thought maybe it was ski boots. I was thinking moon boots because if you remember the moon boots in the 80s, that I remember having to wear those to school, and then everybody had them outside the classroom because you always had to have a different pair of shoes to wear in the classroom because they weren't covered in snow.
But yeah.
Crazy.
Anyway, so I digress. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think Carousel needs an update, but not for the reasons of.
They took away, the whole pirate auction.
Right.
They, no more we wants the redhead.
But it's okay to make your wife work on the hot porch with a fan. Doing her laundry for 3 straight days. It used to take 7.
Putting up wallpaper and everything while you sit there and judge.
In the rumpus room after you took her blender and turned it into like the glue for the wallpaper to go on the wall. And you're going to go get a sarsaparilla. Oh, wait, we're calling it root beer now.
Right.
Sorry.
But I don't get offended by that. I think it's funny. But
it is funny.
Sometimes I think that's what's wrong with society. Like, if you don't like something, keep scrolling. Or if you don't like how if a place changes their rules, or like if a restaurant changes its menu, you don't go back to it.
Right.
You don't boycott it. I mean, you don't go pick it outside the restaurant.
And when I sit in the carousel, I don't think of, oh, poor to the wife. I think, what a jackwagon. This guy's just sitting here telling the story, singing his song, listening to his dog bark, and hey, honey, get this done. You got Uncle Wilbur sitting in the tub with the ice cube and the fan blowing his air conditioning on him.
Oh my God.
Blowing air on him and stuff. And it's just, so I don't look at her as like poor her. I look at him, what an a-hole, because he's just sitting there not helping her whatsoever.
Like, get up, John.
I know, come on, John. Don't be so lazy. And little fun fact, if you didn't know, the narrator in A Christmas Story is the same voice of John.
It is.
It's the same one. So that's kind of a cool little side note if you did not know that.
Fun fact.
Yes. Okay, so that's all we have for Disney news. The only other thing I really wanted to talk about, other attractions, pop culture, and more, was HHN has made 2 house announcements.
They have.
So the first one being Slaugher Sinema 2. So this is a in 2018 they had Slaugher Sinema. The first one came out then. So this is like the next chapter in that whole thing of that. And then it was also announced over the weekend, I think at Spooky Empire, Goblin Feast Tavern.
No, that was out today.
Was that today? So
they announced the other one over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's what it was. So I have no idea about Goblin Feast Tavern. I pulled it up, though, because I wanted to read about what it was exactly.
It says something about, like, you're on the menu.
You are on the menu. That's exactly what
That's really gross. I don't know if I...
It's very... So the official statement that they posted on X, Universal did, welcome to Goblin's Feast Tavern and visit the Goblin Village where a lavish feast is being prepared for goblins, orcs, hobgoblins, and witches. And guess what? You're the main course. So, yeah. So that
like a cannibal house.
It could be like a little bit of a cannibal type thing.
Ew.
So we will have to check that one out.
I don't know.
No, we're going to go to it.
I don't know about that.
We'll be okay.
We'll see.
We got to go. So there's really not a lot of other stuff going on in the area. So what I wanted to ask you, and I know we're getting low on our time here, is there any houses that you're hoping for this year? Is there any like ones that you've thought about, like, oh, I think that'd be really cool if they did this house this year? Maybe something they've never done before, or maybe an updated version of something from the past. Is there anything you're hoping for?
No, just because I hope for it doesn't mean I would go in.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Trick or treat.
Oh, that was a fun house. You didn't go that year.
No, I don't think we've talked about it on our show before, and I think we talked about it just recently.
We did.
But that movie scares me, yet I watch it.
Yep.
But I'm trying to think. So for nostalgia purposes, if not Trick or Treat, because Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay.
Because that's the scare. Freddy Krueger is what we all grew up with,
right.
And he was like the first like bad guy that. I mean, there was Jason, there was Michael Myers, but Freddy. But Freddy was like the ones that he was the one like all the kids talked about.
Freddy was one that talked. The other two never talked.
Oh, and he had really bad lines.
Yes.
Really bad jokes. But that was the one that,
dad jokes.
He kind of did have dad jokes, but inappropriate, scary dad jokes.
Yes.
But yeah, so I know that when I was growing up and my brother loved Freddy Krueger, he was terrified.
Still does.
He still does. But I think that for nostalgia purposes, that would be kind of cool. Now, mind you, I don't know if I go in it. It would depend.
Yeah, I know from houses in the past that they've done where it's something like that, and Trick or Treat would be a good example. They would have like 20 of Sam throughout the house. So every time you walked into a room, Sam would pop out at you. We experienced that last year with Chucky's house. Chucky was everywhere throughout that house, kind of scaring you wherever he could around every corner.
See, Chucky doesn't scare me. It's just everything else that jumps at you. I mean, because like it's Chucky.
Yeah,
I don't care. But
well, the rumors of that I've heard Nightmare Before Christmas or Nightmare Before Elm Street, not Christmas, but Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street may be one of the houses. That's one of the rumors floating around this year.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see.
So that'd be cool.
It's so fun because I'm like, yeah, that'd be so cool. And then I think to myself, am I going to go in that?
I think it'd be cool to do a house with Jason, Freddy, and Michael Myers all together.
Oh, that's overload.
So you don't know who you're going to walk into a room.
Yeah, I'd be afraid. I wouldn't go in. I'm not sure about this whole cannibal house either. That is really gross.
There's always ones you don't want to go into, and that's probably the one. I wonder if they've ever done like a leprechaun. Like the one with the movie Leprechaun with Warwick Davis played the lead character.
Oh my gosh.
Could you imagine that though? Walking into that house and just seeing like the leprechaun come running at you, and that could be kind of scary.
I don't know if he was scary. He's kind of like Freddy Krueger, scary, like with the bad lines and stuff. Yeah.
What about Jeepers Creepers?
Oh no, and no.
Make it like a barn, and you walk into the barn.
Oh my God, no.
Have the car sitting there, and the guy with.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a panic attack right now. No, I hate that movie.
I think it'd be fun to see.
Yeah, you should see his face right now. He's laughing. His eyes are all glossy because he knows I hate that movie.
Okay, but there's also houses that aren't necessarily horror houses. So a couple years ago, we loved the Ghostbusters house they did.
Yes.
Which I'm thinking that'd be a good time to bring that back this year because they just had a new Ghostbusters movie come out, which they're saying is probably the finale. Another one I would like to see would be a Beetlejuice house because the Beetlejuice movie is coming out.
Okay,
so
Beetlejuice would be awesome. I would go in that one.
Yeah, I think that one's a necessity for this year. Last year, the Stranger Things house was really cool.
They did. That one was well done.
It was really well done. It wasn't necessarily scary, but you're walking through the movie or the show rather. It was kind of cool to see like the upside down room above you and the rope hanging there that they climbed through to go on the other side. So it was really cool the effects they did for that one last year. So we'll see what they have. But I know now that announcements are starting to slip out, I'm sure we're going to be getting a lot of them. There's going to be 10 total houses, I think, and was it 5 scare zones?
Yeah, so they have a lot yet to announce. They're just getting going. And I'm guessing that they put the first 2 out are good, but they're saving the big announcements for later.
Oh yeah, once they need to boost in ticket sales, and then they're going to drop a big name one that'll come out, I'm sure.
And people love HHN; they're not going to have a hard time selling tickets.
You know, the one I've always heard people want, and they've never done it, was the Simpsons House of Horrors that they did the show.
Oh yeah.
So people always say, why didn't they ever do a Simpsons? Well, now they don't own the Simpsons, so they couldn't do it.
Right, but they still have Simpsons stuff in the park, which is weird.
But it's just like Marvel. Disney owns the Simpsons stuff. And that's where I wish Disney and Universal just come to an agreement. Hey, you can have the Simpsons, give us Marvel. We'll call it even.
Yeah, let's do a trade-off.
Let's do a trade-off. And give them, you could throw Predator and that in the deal. You give them those ones because they don't own the Disney owns those
God's willing to negotiate. You can be the negotiator for them.
You know what? Just bring the people to me. I will negotiate the contract. We'll get this done.
Figure it all out.
And I'm taking 10%.
You and your 10%.
Gotta make money some way. Okay, so that is basically all we had for this week. So I have a question for you.
Oh.
So with all the talk about Tiana coming and Splash Mountain leaving, if you could bring back any one attraction to Walt Disney World, what would it be? So any attraction that was there that's been taken out, not necessarily just rethemed, but gone. What ride would you like to see come back?
Oh, man. Okay, so can I pick 2? Because I'm not sure.
Okay. I'll let you pick 2, but that's it.
Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Okay.
Just because that was a classic and it's still out in Disneyland.
And that's like a Halloween ride because you go to hell.
You do. You actually go to hell. And just because it's classic and it's old.
Right.
And I think the other one would be 20,000 Leagues.
I was thinking the exact.
Because when I was little, that was my favorite. Actually, so when I was little, Mr. Toad, I was terrified of. And now I know why. When we took the kids to Disneyland, they were like, what was that?
Yeah, we got off. Me and Aiden got off, and he looked at me. He goes, what did we just go through? Did we just go there? And he put it down.
Did we just go where I think? And I remember loving 20,000 Leagues in the Nautilus and the Mermaids, which we've talked about before. So I think those 2, but, oh, shoot. I just thought of another one.
Oh, Lord, what?
Great Movie Ride.
Oh. See, that's when I think they could have revamped certain scenes.
Yes, just update it. But no, they had to get rid of the whole thing.
Yeah, because that one was a class. I used to like riding that, even though we'd been on it dozens and dozens of times.
It was just a fun ride.
It was a fun ride. And then towards the end, because there was 2 different skits you would ride through, 2 different areas where the
mobsters or the cowboys.
Yes. So I always like to get either one. So it was always one of those things. Which one are we going to get this time?
I like the mobsters.
Yeah, the mobsters were always cool. But
yeah.
Oh, okay. Good answer. Good answer. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's show. Just want to mention, you guys, the official travel sponsor of the Main Street Mouse is MEI Mouse Fan Travel. On our website, there's all kinds of links and stuff you can click and get a free, no obligation quote, and it costs you nothing for their services. They work for you. They will do everything you need for them. They make your reservations. They will get you your dining reservations, help you with your hotel. Anything you need, they will help you get that taken care of if it's at Disney or if it's not Disney. If you want to go anywhere, they will help you out with that, cruising or anything. So reach out to them, let them know where you came from the Main Street Mouse, and they'll take care of you over there. I also want to mention TMSM Radio. If you're not listening to it, why aren't you listening to it? Do you like Disney? If you like Disney music, ride music, fireworks music, Disney Afternoon from the 90s and such, we have all that music on there. So go out there, take a listen. We even have some of DJ Elliott's music on there.
From Star Wars Weekends and Frozen Summer Fun.
He gave us explicit permission to use all his tracks and his mixes on there. So we do have them on TMSM Radio. So check it out. You will enjoy it. Trust me. If you're at work and you're just yearning for that Disney day,
give yourself a little magic.
Give yourself a little bit of magic and listen to it. So, but I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else, Michele?
Don't forget Lost Princess Apparel for your Disney-themed leggings, skirts, shirts, dresses, sling bags. That is lostprincessapparel.com. That's us.
And there might be a new product dropping very soon.
Yes. I took it for a test drive, so we have to
make
make some modifications.
We're modifying it, which I've already received information that we can do that. So we're going to be modifying it, and hopefully we'll have the pre-order for that very soon.
Hopefully.
So, well, I guess we're out of here. So go ahead and close this up, Michele.
Okay. As always, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for sharing our content, reading our content, all our social media. We would not be able to do any of this without you. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. And we hope you have a magical week ahead, and we will see you real soon.
Our trip around the Magic Kingdom is almost complete. I can't thank you enough for spending part of your day with me. And I hope you've enjoyed your journey as much as I've appreciated being a part of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please gather your belongings. Watch your head and step as you exit, and take small children by the hand.
On behalf of our entire flight crew, thanks for soaring with us.
Now I will raise the safety bar, and a ghost will follow you home.